Go.
Is he supposed to be fighting Tim Thomas or something like that?
What do the Knicks have for cap space?
It's not like I think it's something in the 30s. I have to look, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere between 30 and 45 million. They have enough to acquire a max free agent, but they don't have the money to pull. I don't think they have the money to pull him to.
I don't see Porzingis even playing next year. But if they get LeBron James, of course he'll play. But it was the same thing last week when we did the show. I said, I don't think that in this game, that the deciding game, Game 4, the Cavaliers are even going to show up. I said that it's going to be like the Red Sox in Game 7 in '86. It's done for them. And sure enough, did they even put up any kind of fight in that Game 4 against the Warriors? That was over. It was over quickly and early, and it was, boom, done. And then I also brought up the fact that with the Las Vegas Knights, it's no longer a story anymore. Coming in second, it was great when this expansion team makes the championship, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, they lost. So now it's just an afterthought. It's like whatever.
Nobody remembers Florida Panthers losing to the Colorado
Rockies. Yeah, exactly. No one cares. It's like, okay, great. Oh, this expansion.
They're not getting either of these. Look at this. So Enes Kanter has I
can't believe the money he makes.
A player's option of $18 million.
Don't forget about
He's
Joakim
taking
Noah.
that money. Joakim Noah has him one more year of $18 million. He's here. They gave Tim Hardaway this absurd contract, so he's making $17 million.
He had those 3 weeks of really good games. It was like, well, they knew what they were doing. That guy has some great qualities. It's like,
of course he does. Yeah, of course. They are over the cap. Somehow they're over the cap.
They try to make Enes Kanter be this little engine that could. Oh, isn't it so cute? Look, he's funny. Look how he's doing. It's like, no. Look at the money he's making. Okay? Don't give me that he's a little cutesy story. He's a guy who's getting paid a lot of money. Who was it the other day that they were talking to some manager? They walked somebody to face another guy. And it was Aaron Boone's dad talking about Bob Boone talking about Aaron Boone getting in trouble because one of his mistakes was like letting the one guy hit a home run after him, and it was Smoke and it was Donaldson. And Boone's dad, who's a retired player, obviously, and is also
it was the Robertson game. He had Robertson. Did he walk Smoke, or did he have him just go after
Donaldson and Smoke hit a grand slam?
Smoke hit a grand slam. That's right. That was like the first week or two.
And
first
Boone's
2 weeks.
an assistant general manager or something. He's like president of the team, of the Nationals, whatever. The father, and he said, Bob Boone said, he's like, and he's from a whole baseball family. The father and all the great father,
swinging and missing at a home run derby,
and
that's right. And absolutely not talking at all when his brother hit a walk-off homer to beat the Red Sox in the ALCS.
Well, Bob Boone said, you know what? His answer he's got to get used to the press. He's got to get used to talking. Hey, boo-boo. He should have said this. He should have said, I went by contracts. Smoke's making $4 million. Donaldson's making $22. So their contracts say the one guy's better than the other guy. So I was like, that's a good quote.
If it isn't the man, the myth, the legend, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. T-Sizzle himself.
He's sizzling himself.
Tristan Hamilton.
Are we all wearing shorts?
Yes, I'm wearing
shorts. Are you wearing shorts?
Yes.
This is a great. This is summer.
Cameron's not.
No, I'm not.
Oh no,
Boo.
no! Because he's Mr. Hockey. He's always cold.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out, and I want to apologize to you guys and to the audience. Because I made a mistake. No, well, first of all, I made a mistake. No, it's important. It's a clerical error. And I made a huge mistake. I made a promise to you, to the American people, and to the audience at large, that I would bring in a Yankee hat for Tristan Hamilton to wear when the Yankees beat the Mets in the Subway Series, to remind everyone the parameters of the bet. If I lost, I had to come in game ready, Mets garb, cleats and everything. And I dodged a bullet here.
I will say there are still 3 more games of the Subway Series remaining.
There are. So you know what?
Of course, at best, is it a tie though? It was a sweep, right?
It was 2. They won a game. It was 2. They won the last game.
They won a Sunday night game,
That's
right? With the game that Syndergaard was not pitching.
That's right.
Yeah. And Severino was pitching.
Yeah,
Severino was pitching. That's right. Oh my gosh! But
we let Game 2 get away. Definitely, Game 2 was horrible. I don't know how we lost that game.
They just don't score runs.
They don't.
I don't know what happened.
I've never seen it.
Can we Are we all in agreement that deGrom needs to be traded? Needs to get the heck out of there?
Absolutely.
It's easy for the Yankees fans to agree on that.
No, see,
I'm not necessarily saying the Yankees,
because you've come of an age where people trade pitchers, bad teams, and I said them last week, Rays pitchers. And again, who are they all looking at right now? Blake Snell, all the Rays pitchers they're looking at right now. The bad teams are supposed to furnish the bigger teams, the good teams with pitchers. That's the way it's become.
But I got news for you. The ones in the Rays, how many of them actually panned out after being traded?
Well, that's what I was saying. They're Rays pitchers that don't pan out.
James Shields, Scott Kazmir.
James Shields gave up a home run to Bartolo Colon.
Right, David Price. I mean, any of those guys.
Wade Davis. Wade Davis actually worked out
for a time. Got a World Series ring.
He's a closer.
But here's the thing with that. It used to be the thing that a Nolan Ryan, a Tom Seaver, great pitchers who just toiled on bad teams. Jack Morris, all these guys who don't have the 300 wins for the Hall of Fame were guys who had 200 and something wins. Burt Blyleven, perfect example. They were on bad teams.
Nolan Ryan has a World Series ring.
Nolan Ryan with the '69 Mets,
yes,
where he was an afterthought, where he was Lynn Nolan Ryan on the Ed Sullivan show, because they went by their first name, so it was George Thomas Seaver, Lynn Nolan Ryan, because their real first name, Tom Seaver's real name is George, and Nolan Ryan's real name is Lynn, so they put that up there. But but nowadays, so like the deGrom being traded kind of thing is like, oh, they got to do it. It's like no, they're not. He's controllable on this team till 2020, and he's going to make nothing. They're going to pay him nothing for the next 2 years, so you don't get rid of that. What are they going to give him? What are they possibly going to get? As opposed to what I would do is I would go all in either this year or next year and say, look, we got Syndergaard and deGrom at the top of their game. Matz, Wheeler, one of those two guys at the top of their game. Let's acquire an offense instead of 35-year-old Jay Bruce's and Adrian Gonzalez's and Asdrubal Cabrera's and and the big money pit that is third base in the ghost of David Wright.
Literally.
I know insurance is paying for it, and you see what happened to Detroit, Miguel Cabrera, who's owed money through the next 5 years, I think.
Rest of the season.
Yeah, and there's another guy. I don't know that they had insurance on that contract like they do on David Wright, but but Miggy's not going to retire because he's got like $150 million coming to him for the next 5 years. So he's like, I'm fine,
So with them releasing Gonzalez, is that more of Bruce going to first or Dominic Smith probably coming up?
No, they brought Smith up, but it was Bruce to go to first because Nemo forced his way in the outfield. They got to play Bruce.
Long enough.
They should have had Bruce on the DL weeks ago with plantar fasciitis. I mean, I have it. It's terrible. And they should just set him down because they don't need. He's not hitting with it, so on the team he wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But Nemo forced his way in, and they got Cespedes and Bruce, so they got and they got Conforto, so they got to put they have to put Bruce at first base.
Here's the problem, though, is that now Nemo's going to be the everyday guy. Once you become the everyday guy, your mindset is different.
Yeah, he's a different player. He's a Wyoming guy. He runs to first.
He's like the dirty work.
Yeah, he's kind of a guy. I'm surprised by how good he is this year because I wasn't expecting that.
But a lot of times, when they're fighting to the promised land, they do really well. But then when they make it to the promised land, they get that starting.
Plus, he's a Met, so that's a problem too. When you're a Met, just bad things happen. Like a 20-year-old. No hits them through 7 innings last night, right? It was like, this guy's 20 years old, making his major league debut, and they're getting, because they don't read any scouting reports. I don't have time for that, God forbid.
I'll be honest with you, I completely disagree. I think this is the perfect time. I don't agree with people saying, Syndergaard needs to go too. I don't agree with that. Syndergaard's too young. By the time this team is competitive again. And I'm sorry, I am in the boat of saying, okay, this team has failed. I don't think in a month this looks better than it does. It either looks the same or it looks worse. And I think by the time this team is competitive and a real team able to compete for an NL East title, I think deGrom will be older. I think deGrom will be on the other side of his career. He's 30 now. I think they're 3 years away.
He's 30.
He's going to be around 30. Yeah,
he's turning 30 this year.
Yeah,
that's kind of surprising. I didn't realize that.
He was a shortstop in Collins.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this is the right for deGrom. I think this is the right time to move him for the same reasons you said to keep him. He's young, or at least he's still in his 20s this second. I believe he's still in his 20s this second. He's cheap. He's dirt cheap. So you get a couple years. A team that gets him will get a couple years. He's not just a rental. That means you can get a haul for this guy. This is one of the most consistent excellent pitchers in baseball. You could get a haul for him now, so trade him.
But what is that haul? We got a caller on 516-572-7440. Who's calling?
Hello, Jim.
Hello, Dave from Franklin Square. Just want to...
Dave!
I don't know. See, the Mets are not a small market team. So to behave like one, they still got to operate in New York. They also have to be in the shadow of the Yankees as well. When the Yankees made their... getting the guys, when they traded Andrew Miller away and they traded Chapman away and they got back what they got... everyone knew Torres was the prospect to get from the Cubs. Everyone wanted that guy. So he's up there, but he's not up there standing alone. He's up there. They already have the likes of Stanton and Judge and those other guys.
But everybody knew that they were a closer away from a World Series. And so did the Yankees.
So you trade deGrom. What are the Mets going to get? They're going to get prospects who are how many years away?
The Mets, if they're wise, which they're not, can find a team that is one great starting pitcher, like the Houston Astros last year, that are one starting pitcher away from winning World Series. The obvious answer to that question, which will never happen in a million years, is the Yankees. But it won't happen.
Trade Familia to the Astros.
Well, Familia you got to trade because Familia is not going to re-sign with this team after this year. Right. And I say good riddance to him anyway. That man's not a closer.
I agree. He blew it. 4 games, 3 games in a World Series. Yeah. That's enough.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they see in him, but get rid of him. I don't know. If you have deGrom and you're going to make that deal with a desperate Astros team, we're using them as an example like last year, that team doesn't come to the forefront until July 20th. We don't know who that is right now.
We don't know who that guy is. Or that
is
team.
That Seattle? Like, I'm just thinking of teams that we wouldn't expect. Like, Seattle is unbelievably doing so well without Cano.
Surprisingly.
The Dodgers?
No, I told you a couple weeks ago.
The Dodgers got to rely on figuring out Kershaw, what's going to happen there.
Because he's really their only option. He's not fully healthy yet.
I think the Dodgers may not turn their nose up at moving on from Kershaw after this year.
Well, he's going to jump out anyway, right? When can he opt out?
He can opt out this year.
Yeah.
So may.
This will be the year to strike because you got Harper. You got Machado, because there are going to be losers in those sweepstakes. So it's like they got money to burn, so might as well, this is the year Kershaw to come out.
I wouldn't touch Kershaw with a 10.
Oh, come on.
Not with that shoulder. That shoulder is falling apart on him. And again, you guys talk about the Mets. You talk about saying, should we put new tires on the 72 Pinto? No, you got to break it all down, man. I mean, that team stinks.
Thank you.
Well, they got this first baseman Alonso, who at least they have somebody as a good prospect.
You're pulling up Double-A play. You can't do that. I mean, what are you going to do? Put a tent on that circuit? And if you get rid of Familia, could you imagine the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings?
Well, here's
what are you going to throw out there as relievers?
But what are you going to do? You got to play the games. I mean, you're a major league team. You have to play the games. So this is 1993 all over again, unless it's not, because they're losing 2-0. It tells me the pitching's there, the hitting's not. So if the hitting comes, then they'll be better off. But that's between now and, by the way, I said Adrian Gonzalez gone by July 4th.
You're right.
I was right on that.
You're absolutely right.
But we have to see by July 4th with his pitching. I say by July 10th. I owe my birthday July 11th.
For the record, that's his career, right? That's it.
No. I think he replaces Cabrera. Because
that's right. That might not be a bad idea.
Him or Hanley Ramirez, because Miggy's gone. You got to pay the major league minimum, the veteran minimum. Either one of those guys. Right. Why not? Yeah. You got to, you want to have some power in first base. And Miggy wasn't given power in first base. So
I don't know what happened to him. What a fall off, right?
Too much too soon, or he is the perfect example of a non-PED using guy. Your body 35, you're done. In baseball, it used to be 35, you were done. So
that's true.
I was looking at
one of the flat out greatest hitters I've ever watched.
He would have been a Hall of Famer 3 years ago. Like if he retired 3 years ago. And this is a guy, and I know the core 3 Triple Crown stats of home runs, RBIs, and batting average are not with like sabermetricians or whatever. But he had a Triple Crown, something that's not been done. Since '67, and he did it. So.
He should have taken his vacation in the Dominican Republic.
and what he did
I did.
And what he did when he was 19, right? That was the Yankee World Series, right? When they won Marlins won the second Marlins World Series. That was him at 19.
Yeah,
against Roger Clemens, and it was really, really good.
Jeff Conine was on that Marlins.
Mr. Marlin. What's that?
Did you say everybody's wearing shorts?
I thought we were wearing shorts, but Cameron Long is long. Cameron Bonagora is long.
Way to go, Cam!
We call him Cameron Longagora.
I just can't picture Tarkovsky in shorts, and I thought he doesn't.
You don't want to.
I wear shorts.
You gotta honor.
Tchaikovsky's my favorite composer.
Hey, listen, Dave. Are you flocking to Monmouth Park?
I beg your pardon. You can't say that on the radio. Flocking to Monmouth Park.
For the record, this was the first day I ever heard somebody my age say the word "tookus." So thank you.
And you've never been to Mark's house.
Apparently, my community.
Well, he's got spilkus.